I have a special guest on the line here, ladies and gentlemen. And it's in times like these, the holiday season, when you think about family. And many of us should realise that a lot of other people out there can't have a Merry Christmas with their family sometimes. There's obvious complications like, conflicting schedules. They live in different countries. They come home once every couple of years, something along those lines. But there's other cases when family members are kept away from their kids. My guest has a very, I would say, disturbing story about all of this. Her name is Amy Charron, or Charron. I'm not sure how we pronounce it. Amy, are you there?
Hello, it's Amy Charron.
Charron. Welcome to the Vinnie Eastwood Show.
Thank you.
So please enlighten us. You've got a young daughter. And
yes.
What's happened with her?
March 15th of 2009. At that time, she was 2 years old. I was at a well-known hospital in Texas. I had no criminal background at 42 years old, no mental, alerts or anything of any of that kind of thing. I went in there because I had black and white proof of crimes against my own mother and stepfather. I went in there simply for help, and they said they were going to change my daughter's diaper with no warrant, nothing. They never brought her back, and it's been almost 2 years. She's my only child.
You've suffered a lot in these last 2 years, and you said to me recently on Facebook that you've been starting to get a real spur of attention on this issue at the moment. Is that correct?
Well, I think I'm at about 12,000 viewers and supporters worldwide. Much of my support actually comes from Europe, ironically, since I'm an American citizen. My experience here for 2 years as a single mom has been horrific. I have notified the feds. I have notified the FBI. I have written the president. I have met with Governor Perry in person. I have the pictures to prove it. I have literally by myself gotten in my car and protested. I have handed out 5,000 business cards to churches that show evidence. And I literally, when I go to the police station to try to show my evidence, which I have proof of and witnesses to, they will actually, as soon as I give my name, they will threaten to arrest me. It just happened 3 days ago, and someone caught part of it on the phone. I was literally threatened to be arrested for trespassing, for begging tearfully to look at my evidence. And the police told me, if you don't get out of here right now, we're going to arrest you. It's been something like out of a movie. No one would ever believe what I'm going through, what my daughter has endured. Despite the proof that I came from a horrific, abusive childhood, bounced around like an unwanted puppy dog, lived 8 months in another home senior year for child abuse, was found half dead in the woods, half starved to death, and even these people testified, or this lady testified to this. They terminated my rights, saying I was imagining my abuse, therefore delusional. So therefore, everything I endured as a child and everything my daughter's enduring that I have black and white proof of, they won't admit that they made a mistake and they won't return her.
Maybe there's something else going on here, because in New Zealand, the court system, very similar things happen, particularly in family court, which is the only court not allowed to be filmed. And apparently there's a lot of corruption in there, child trafficking, and some people will even pay fees to get their hands on particular types of children. I mean,
yeah.
And it's just so corrupt, the entire system, and they forget the human impact that their decisions have. These people who sit on the benches have detached themselves from human society. They've forgotten what it means to be human. The application of the law shouldn't affect the outcome of a human life as monstrously as it has been done to you.
Well, I mean, I've done numerous hours of research for 2 years now. And I've been blessed in one way. I have an ex-husband who's a lawyer and a biochemist. And luckily he has provided me a little bit, it's not enough to make ends meet, because now they're taking my home. Actually, July 3rd, my $340,000 home the sheriffs are going to come and throw me out of my home. They're actually illegally foreclosing on my home, and it has everything to do with them illegally kidnapping my daughter. It's just a horrific story. So not only have I lost my child, but I've lost my home that she loved. Her toys sit unopened from Christmas. Last year, her birthday gifts, her Easter gifts, everything sit in a corner here, and now they're going to come and drag me out by force because I told them I refuse to leave this home. So for all I know, I'm going to jail on January 3rd.
January 3rd, just after New Year's.
Yes, and the surprising thing is that in court I represented myself, and the judge actually, I won the first time, and then Wells Fargo, a very crooked company, and I don't care to say it on the air, they are illegally taking my home. They raised my mortgage almost $400 a month and admitted they made a mistake, and now they're evicting me even though I have an open wrong foreclosure case. I don't even think that's legal. A judge ruled in my favor, and you can actually see where he signed the document, the brief that I filed, and then he undid it in the same hearing because Wells Fargo mentioned a law called Ramirez versus Home Association, which to everything I've studied, along with my lawyer friends, it should not even apply to me because, one, my house is a crime scene at this point, and two, because there's an open Wells Fargo wrongful foreclosure case. And they're actually evicting me and then saying, well, maybe later, if we don't sell your house, you can come back. Interesting enough, my daughter's appeal that I've been fighting for a year, they're granting me some kind of motion on December 31st. Well, it's a scam because homeless, they're going to say now I can't have my daughter because they're taking my home. So it's all a scam. And what I know from my research is they go after children like mine. They call them headhunters. And they go after children that are as beautiful as mine, blonde, blue eyes, la, la, la. And they actually have people that... Excuse me?
I saw the photographs and the videos of your daughter that you posted, and this is the most beautiful little girl, you know.
She was the happiest
thing you've ever seen, you know.
Oh, she was already in a movie. I work in a modeling agency, one of the biggest modeling agencies in Houston. She was known by everyone. We were very well liked by the community. We went to church every Sunday. I went to Bible study. She was in the nursery, no signs of abuse. She was very connected with the community. Never any accusations of me abusing her or her not being well taken care of. And then all with a blink of my eye, she was taken and I had no justice whatsoever. I lost everything that I've ever worked for, and to me, because without my child I have no home anyway. So it's really irrelevant to me at this point. All I'm trying to do is expose the truth, and the truth is that this is Nazism at its best. They are destroying families, and I'll tell you what, it is such a scam, and I don't care how much they threaten me. If you look under fear on the website, you'll see proof of hacking, you'll see proof of them. Whoever I say them, let me make it clear, I don't really know who them is. I have an idea, but I'll keep my mouth shut here so I don't get sued.
Well, there was, back in I think it was in the mid-90s, a documentary about pedophile rings that were being run in U.S. cities that concerned high members of state and high members of the corporate interest. And apparently in the court system, and we've heard this from, I believe, Doc Bean from the Watchmen, is a Vietnam vet and all that, he said that they are in fact getting paid certain sums for particular types of children, and it's an official child racketeering ring. In CPS custody, children are 5 times more likely to be abused. And I think that was in Reuters.
Of course, and here's the shocker. I personally visited a home, and children begged me for their help in Willis, Texas. I went to the media, told them they were being drugged and fondled by CPS. I don't know what you call those people, but the people that work in the emergency shelters approved by CPS, I gather. I went to the police.
I call them charming pedophile services.
Right. I went to the police because I witnessed these children barely able to walk, very horrific, depressing, darkened woods, very scary. I went to the police. They wouldn't listen to me. I went, it's all on my Facebook, 10 days protesting in Austin by myself. Actually, with a witness, let me correct myself, with a witness who was actually in the home. So here was a 16-year-old, I believe, wanting to talk to the media. They kept me there for 10 days, lied to me, stuck me with about a $2,000 bill because they said if they, to stay around and stay in the hotel near them. Never, ever returned any of my calls, including Alex Jones, who I personally have no respect for, and I'm happy to say that on the air. This man knew I was coming. He had about 150 calls to meet with me, and he refused to meet with me. I believe this whole thing is, I'll make a long story short, the girl died. The girl that I promised to help, you can look it up on the internet. Her name is Felicia Minix. She's in the newspaper. So the media didn't take it when she was alive, but she met the newspapers, I guess, expectations because now she's dead, and what a story that makes. So she got ran over by a truck running away with a group of runaways, and then I was threatened that I would go to jail for trying to wire them money as they were living in the woods for the ones that were surviving in 105 heat index in Texas. I mean, I have such a story. It would take you, honestly, 2 weeks to know the whole thing. There's so much more to my story. It's not just about my daughter and I. It's about other kids I've tried to help. But I've literally been threatened to be arrested for trying to help minors hiding in the woods, fearing for their life, actually fearing CPS people. I mean, it's a crazy story.
Yeah, and that's a story that repeats itself all over the world. We have a similar story here in New Zealand where a woman was basically, you get paid by protective services in New Zealand to have children into foster homes, right? And this one woman had 10 children under 2, and she was collecting about $1,200 a week from the children's services.
Exactly. Okay.
And in the UK, I believe a convent or something of that nature, run by the government, had huge amounts of pedophile activity going on there. So much that every single child who was there knew it and had experienced it or seen it.
Exactly.
Just total child abuse.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I mean, my evidence, if you listen to my daughter admitting she's being abused, secretly taped from a digital little tape recorder that I hid in my purse. See, the thing about me that no one gets is I may be a woman, I may be, this single woman, no hero here protecting me at night. I actually sleep with a chair at my door every night and a little a little knife that wouldn't even cut an apple, but I don't have any weapons. And I actually sit here night after night getting threats, rape threats. I have literally had the most gruesome rape threats. I call the police and they laugh and hang up on me, even with the proof on my phone and the phone number. I've had people steal my evidence out of my home, admit they did it, send me texts admitting they did it, call the police, and they threaten to arrest me for bothering them. This is a huge, what people don't understand is what I'm involved in is so political, it's not your average CPS case. My stepfather...
Let me see. Let's talk about the importance of the people. Who has your child at the moment? What's her name?
The suspects, they were under attempted murder, and then a lawyer made another report, and as far as I know, it's still on an active attempted murder case. No investigation in 2 years, and they're the ones that have my daughter. Despite last time I saw her, she was covered in bruises. The evidence is on the website, the one that you have. I secretly took it. Sir? Are they well connected and wealthy? Oh, are you kidding? Governor Perry appointed my stepfather head of the dental board. They had a fundraiser for Ted Poe and all these huge people. He has pictures of him and President Bush in his office. He's a prominent oral surgeon. He makes over, I was told, over $3 million a year. Mm-hmm. So what happened was the hospital treated me like some little nobody and took their word. So what they did is they took my child, bypassed the ER contact, who's my grandma, illegally called the suspects of a crime. So don't you just put it in perspective. If you're married, let's say your wife, someone tried to rape your wife, right? She goes with your daughter to the hospital. She's crying. She's like, someone tried to rape me. Imagine the hospital calling